this for the second time because my doctor called in the middle of me filming it last time. Just what happens when you have chronic illness, you're just always talking to doctors. So this is part 2 of the modifying my Gripmore mermaid tail. Make it the most beautiful and realistic tail it can possibly be. You can watch my previous video on this little mini series if you'd like to, that shows my new Mertailer monofin, but you'll probably also see in this video. If you'd like a Gripmore tail, you can use the discount code PHANTOM5 to save on your order at gripmore.net. This is the Gripmore tail. I just want to take a second to explain to you guys what it is I plan on doing to this tail to make it look as beautiful and believable as possible. I'll be honest, I have no idea if any of this is going to work, and I am just like planning this out as I go, and I'll probably change some things, so we'll see. But to start off, I got this really cool fabric from Amazon. I'll link everything that I can in the description box in case you would like to kind of follow my planning or my whatever it is I'm doing. This is a fun tulle-like fabric. Don't really know what it's called. It's just something fun. I think it might be called Organza, I don't know. But it's pretty, it's iridescent, it's kind of wavy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and line the opening of my Gripmore tail with this fabric. I think I'm going to have it facing down like this. And I'm going to kind of like do that sort of thing where I just like make it kind of wavy. I think that'll look really nice. And then in addition to that, I would like to somehow incorporate this same fabric onto the edge of the tail so we can cover up this area since it looks a little off. And for both areas, I think to kind of hide some of the seams, I'm going to take some fake pearls and I'm going to just kind of like sew them into the areas where I'm using the organza fabric or whatever it's called. And I think that's just gonna make it look like super fairy tale, really pretty, distract from the fact that there is thread going through the tail. I think it'll look nice. And then the last thing I'll be using this for, which is why I have 3 rolls, I wanna make sure I have plenty. I'm going to take this pair of leggings that I got, really cheap leggings, and I'm going to sew this material onto the leggings. I'll probably do the same like fluffy sort of bunched up look that I'm going to do on the tail. And the idea is that I can wear these underneath this mermaid tail because this mermaid tail doesn't really fit my body super well. There's a bit of a gap like by my back and around my belly. So the idea is that having this fluffy material kind of like underneath the tail skin itself will like create a more seamless look. I don't know, it might just look ridiculous. It's just like one of those things, I had an idea and I thought I'm gonna try it. Might work out great, it might be a complete disaster. We're gonna find out. That's why I want cheap leggings in case I mess this up. So that's that part. Set that stuff aside. And then we have this Mertailer monofin right here. Move this out of the way so you can see it a little better. This is the old tail skin for my Gripmore tail that it originally came with. And as you can see, it has some velcro that the tail skin itself attaches to. So what I'm going to have to do next is I have to figure out, which I didn't actually bring it in here, it's not in this box, but I have some velcro and I'm going to attempt to take some power mesh and I'm going to take some E6000 glue because I tried sewing the power mesh to the velcro, and sewing anything to velcro is a pain in the butt. So I am going to be gluing some power mesh to the back of velcro, but I'm going to leave a little pocket so I can also glue the power mesh down to the silicone with silicone glue. It's kind of like a tricky process. I don't know if it's going to work. I have a feeling it won't. I have a feeling this monofin is going to be too heavy to support my, how do you say this, like redneck style of fixing this mermaid tail. I don't know that it's gonna work. I'm gonna give it a try. It's gonna possibly not work. I might accidentally ruin this beautiful fluke. We'll see. I also have some pretty sequins. They don't quite match the color of the scales, so I don't know if I'll use them any. But if I need to, And if I can, I might try to incorporate them into the side area of the tail, because on both sides it's kind of like bare skin look. I also considered using some of this fabric to kind of like try to sew it onto the side to give it more of a seamless look, so it doesn't look as like blocky on the edges. I don't really know what I'll do about that. That part's still in like the really early stages of planning, but I'm fairly confident that the rest of it is exactly what I'm going to try. And I'm also fairly confident that the monofin is not going to secure to this, but we're going to try it anyway because it might work, and you don't know unless you try. These are my plans. If you guys have any suggestions for things you think might look good with this tail, feel free to leave them below. If anyone has any suggestions for trying to glue the Velcro to the silicone monofin so that I can secure it to my Gripmore tail, that would also be wonderful, because I'm kind of a little worried that it won't work. We'll find out though. Stay tuned for part 3, where I will either show you my work in progress, or I may not because I might forget to film that, or part 3 or 4, where I actually show you the completed piece. I'm excited, hoping to get it done within a week or 2.